Okay, y'all, I have to be honest. It's still really hot. And y'all make sure to let me know that in the comments of the last video. Like today, for example, it's not only like 80+ degrees outside, it's also raining. So not only is it hot, it's very humid. And according to my iPhone's weather, it's gonna be like that for like the next week, probably rolling into next. It won't start getting cool here for a while. So what I have in today's video are gonna be 7 fresh fragrances that do really well in the warmer weather. But before we do that, there we go, that's a little better. And on that note, let's get into it. So the first fragrance that I'll talk to you guys about is gonna be a fragrance that I've worn pretty heavily this summer. If you've been subscribed for a while, you saw me post this a while back, a few months ago when it was my sister's wedding. I wore this to her wedding, it was my scent of the day. But not only did I wear it, my dad also wore it. He wanted something clean, inoffensive, and masculine. So we wore Versace Homme. Now guys, this is like the definition of a fresh out of the shower, clean kind of scent. Very clean, very mass appealing, and also quite cheap. Which Versace is kind of known for that by now, that they make pretty affordable fragrances like this, or Dylan Blue, or Air Rose. They're relatively affordable, and they smell great. At least to the mass amount of people. Like I was saying, this is basically just your cheap, fresh out of the shower kind of scent. And for me, it lasts a long time. Maybe the only downside of this fragrance is that it's not very unique. There's nothing that really sticks out about this outside of it just smelling like a great fragrance. And being Versace, and being affordable. This would be a great fragrance for casual wear, signature scent, everyday kind of wear, really. This is basically not only like the definition of like a summer scent, but it's also the definition of like a clean, fresh out of the shower scent, which you can't go wrong with. Again, y'all, that was Versace Homme. How do you feel about these lights here? I didn't really want to do blue. I didn't want to do red. I might change it up every now and then, but I do a few here. This just feels more appropriate for this list. I'll probably do some blue in there when it gets to be a little colder. But number 2 on this list is gonna be one that's a bit more unique and a bit newer. But after giving this more wear, it has turned out to be a pretty decent fragrance in terms of longevity, scent, compliment factor, and just generally being a pretty mass appealing fragrance. Even though originally I didn't really enjoy it very much, I was kind of thought I was let down by it, just based off my initial impressions of it. After giving it a bit more wear, you know, just wearing it out in the sun, wearing it inside, I've really grown to appreciate this fragrance. The top note of lime and absinthe, you get Coach for Men Blue, which I don't believe that this is just yet at discounters, but it should be soon. And it fits perfectly in the Coach line. You have Coach, Coach Platinum, and then you get this, which all 3 are very unique. This right here is gonna be the definition of like a summer fragrance, even more so than the Coach original. And I think you can find this on Amazon for like under 50 bucks. Check that, I'll put the price down right here. This might even be available at certain discounters. Like I was saying, it opens up with that bright lime, that absinthe, certain notes that are in there that make it very mass appealing and just generally easy to like, with fairly decent performance. That was the 2020 release of Coach Blue. Now, number 3 has been one of my favorite post-gym scents that I've had for this entire summer. There is that strong kick to it, but it's followed up by a nice aquatic vibe with slight undertones of like spiciness that make this a bit more unique than what it's inspired by. Number 3 is gonna go to Hero by Pete & Pedro. Which, if you are familiar with Hero by Pete & Pedro, you know that it is inspired by Giorgio Armani, Aqua E. And no, it's not going to be an exact clone. It's not going to be exact inspiration. There are some differences here. Like I said, the opening has a bit more of a kick to it, and there is a bit of a spiciness that comes with this. So it's not just going to be your like clone of Aqua E. It's not going to be like Perry Ellis Red. It performs great. It lasts long, and it is great for being a fresh fragrance. It's like basically, if you're wearing a white shirt and jeans with some pretty casual shoes, this is what you reach for. This is not something that you're gonna wanna wear with like a suit and tie. You could, but it's more fitting for more of a casual kind of occasion. It can be a bit pricey, as you'll see that this runs for about 49 bucks. But in the description down below, you'll see that I have my link there for Pete & Pedro. It is a discount for this fragrance. You get about 15% off. Yes, I do get a small kickback if you guys do purchase it, but it's available there for about 15% off. Again, guys, that is Hero by Pete & Pedro. And now number 4 is gonna be just a banger of a fragrance. It's been around for a while, it's been tried and true. Your uncle probably wears it. And it is a fantastic alternative to Creed Green Irish Tweed. The Green Irish Tweed alternative is gonna go to Davidoff Cool Water. Now this can be found at Walmart for like 20 bucks. This is a no-brainer in terms of a fresh fragrance. Fantastic out of the shower, fantastic in the high heat, fantastic just pretty much year round too. But its key focus here is going to be that it is a great alternative to Creed Green Irish Tweed for literally 1/10 of the cost. It is annoying how similar this is to that. Even though there is a bit more of a punch behind the Creed Green Irish Tweed, this is still a fantastic fragrance. Again, guys, that was Davidoff Cool Water. Now, number 5 is going to be great for those who really enjoy wearing something like Blue Chanel Parfum or something like Dior Sauvage. 5 is gonna be great for someone who really enjoys wearing something like Bleu Chanel. Just based off the opening and just the general freshness of the fragrance, this is kind of similar to that. Not only that, it's also in the same ball field as something like Dior Sauvage, in terms of it being a fresh, mass-appealing fragrance. One of the main differences between this fragrance and those two is that this is very affordable. This can be found at a fraction of the cost of those two. It performs, it lasts, and it shines in the warm weather. Number 5 is gonna go to Aqua E by Sapphire. Now again, if you've been subscribed to my channel for a while, you're well aware that I found this at a rack store for like 20 bucks, 20, 30 bucks I think it was. And I was very blown away by my initial impression of this fragrance. For it being so cheap, it is very, very, very surprising and a very nice scent. This for a long time was my post-gym scent before I got Hero. This is what I was throwing on like every day, which as you can see, to you that might not look like a lot, but to me that is a lot of juice that's being used there. But like I was saying, this is very similar to Bleu Chanel in terms of it being just like a fresh, citrusy kind of fragrance, while also having some aquatic blue kind of nuances to it. So it is pretty clearly going to be a mass-appealing fragrance as well, one that pretty much everyone around you is going to enjoy. Again, y'all, that was Aqua E by Sapphire. Now, number 6 on this list is going to go to a fragrance that was created by a fellow YouTuber. That fellow YouTuber is Sam Andros, which he has a ton of subscribers, like a lot. I don't understand how he didn't get talked about more, but he has amassed a pretty decent following. But this fragrance is very surprising in terms of what it smells like, without being an exact clone or exact replica of a certain fragrance. It smells a lot like Rose de Parfum's Elysium, which this guy's cost a lot of money. I mean, upwards to like 300 bucks. Now, I don't want to say it's not worth it, but there are decent alternatives to this fragrance, with one of them being number 6 on this list, that is Blue Sapphire by Sam Andros. With notes of bergamot, lemon, blackcurrant, cedar, pink pepper, lavender, and leather, you get that is Blue Sapphire. Just in case you're wondering, I did not memorize that. The notes are here right on the back of the fragrance. Now, one of the best parts of this fragrance for me are going to be that it is an extrait de parfum concentration. Your average cologne that you're going to pick up at like Belk's or Macy's, somewhere like that, it's going to be an EDT concentration, which means it's going to have a little bit of perfume oil with a bunch of alcohol and bunch of mixing and stuff. So it might project better, but it will not last a long time, for the most part. This being an extrait de parfum, it's going to have a lot of fragrance oil, so it's going to last a long time. And this just so happens to also project well and decent longevity for roughly about 30 bucks. Versus 300 with Elysium. And again, guys, that is Blue Sapphire by Sam Andros Fragrances. Now, lastly but not least on this list is going to be a fragrance from this year. It's one that I was pretty surprised with because I mean, I had heard no one talk about it at all. And just the opening is very inviting, it's very bright, and honestly, in my opinion, a lot better than what it's compared to. I've heard it compared to this, which is Invictus, which I don't know about that. It's this right here, I do not like nearly as much as Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct together. Invictus, just something about it in the opening is just not for me. About the Invictus is like super synthetic. I mean, I get it that it's going to be crowd appealing, it's going to be liked by the majority of people that are going to be around you when you're wearing it. But in terms of mass appealing blue kind of fragrances, that's not one that I'm going to reach for. Not very often, at least. This though, number 7 on this list, is going to be Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Together. The opening is a bit sweeter, a bit more fruity-like, and honestly a bit more enjoyable. The only downside of this that I have really is that it doesn't perform quite as well as the Invictus does. The Invictus for me can last me like 8 hours. This though, it's like 3 hours. Which for it being a fresh blue fragrance, I didn't really expect much more out of it. So it's been one that I've been throwing in my gym bag and applying after I get out of the gym. Which I don't know if you can tell here, but I have used just a little bit of it, and only owning it now for like a month. This would also make a great work fragrance because, like I said, it doesn't last too long, doesn't project too loud, but it's just a fun, enjoyable scent. Again, guys, that was Abercrombie & Fitch First Instinct Together. Now, guys, that is that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. And guys, like I always say, keep it gent, love your scent, and I'll see you all next time.